beautiful. If you have a very oily skin, make sure you powder them. Wouldn't recommend that you go for that dew blush from Say Beauty. Hey beauties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing fine. You're having a good week, depending on when you're watching this video. Today it is Thursday. I think we're Thursday. I'm not sure. I've kind of lost track of time since the maternity leave. I don't know what day we are, what date we are. I've missed so many things. It's a little bit crazy, but I know we're heading towards the holiday, so that I know. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing fine. I picked up the newest shade in the Giorgio Armani Beauty Luminous Silk collection. This is the cheek tint, and it's shade 41. I think it's flaming red. This is what I am wearing today. I have layered it, and I want to give you a bit of a comparison with a lot of other liquid blushes that you might have seen or heard about, and depending on if you have a dry skin or combination to oily skin, which blush would work the best for you. So, obviously all of these blush came out in 2024, so it's kind of a year review of the ones that I think are really worth for you to try and invest in, depending on what you're looking for, what you need, and on your skin type. But all of these blush are beautiful. You're not going to be disappointed. I just realized I had a smudge on my lipstick on my cheek. Never a good look when you're reviewing makeup. So the Giorgio Armani cheek tint. So I did a full review on the shades that I previously had. So if you want to go have a look, there's a full video reviewing and demoing and trying on. For me, these, so I've got 4 shades. I've got 62, 41, 50.5 and 53. If you like maybe it's a bit not as popular as it was a few months back, but if you like that Sabrina Carpenter kind of look with the blush that goes super high on the cheek and that kind of transition of color, I would say use in Armani the shade 53 and 62 together. It's going to look just absolutely beautiful on you. These are the ones she's actually using. They were sent to me PR, and honestly I have been obsessed with them. So they are an oil to cream formula. If you have a dry skin, I would say these are amazing on you. So this is a video of the application of the red one, and I have to say they are super pigmented. The color payoff is amazing, especially for the red. So if you have a very heavy hand when you apply your makeup, you do like me, you always apply on the back of your hand, go with your brush or your beauty blender, and then go on to your cheek, because otherwise you're gonna end up with 2 massive red cheeks, which is not the most flattering. So these ones, if you have a dry skin, beautiful. If you have a very oily skin, make sure you powder them. So you apply them, apply your setting spray. It doesn't matter which brand you're using. Charlotte Tilbury is my go-to, but one size is extremely good if you have an oily skin. And then go over with some powder. So you can layer it with a sheer translucent powder and then go over with some blush, or just directly with your blush, as long as you really set it, because if you have an oily skin, these will move. So very good if you have a dry to combination skin. Oily skin, just make sure you apply some powder. I can show you the newest shade. It is my flavor of the month. So they always have that really super pointy applicator, and this is not made for your lips or your eyes. It is written on the box, do not apply on your eyes. I think there's probably some ingredients in the list of ingredients that is really not good if you have super sensitive skin. But look at this color. Look at the payoff, how beautiful this is. So I'm gonna leave it there because I want to compare with other reds in different brands. Now, if you like your blush to be super matte, so the Luminous Silk from Giorgio Armani is very luminous. It's not a matte formula. It dries completely, but it's not matte. However, if you like your blush to be completely matte, the one from YSL, the Make Me Blush liquid blush, are, in my opinion, the best for oily skin. They are, however, a little bit flat. I don't know how else to describe it other than just flat, because they are so matte. You still have a nice color, but it's not as luminous as this one from Giorgio Armani, and I'll swatch it next to it so you guys can see. Obviously it's a different shade, but you'll understand what I mean by, because it will dry completely. They both dry completely, but the YSL will get absorbed by your skin. So in that sense, if you have an oily skin, you'll see this works just wonder. It's not going to move, it dries completely. And it's not going to try to smudge or move onto your skin. Whereas the Luminous Silk, well, by definition, it's that silky finish that has a little bit more of an oily base to it. So it's not gonna be the same thing at all. If you like your blush to be super punchy, you want it matte, go for Charlotte Tilbury. So this is the Beauty Wand, the Matte Beauty Blush Wand. And it's a very easy application, but the payoff is extremely good. And this is shade Dream Pop. So it's not quite red, it's not quite pink. But again, dries completely, super matte. So you see this one from Giorgio Armani has that luminosity. The one here from YSL, completely matte, it's completely absorbed by the skin, and this is not moving. Then you have Charlotte Tilbury. It is matte, but it's got a little bit more to it, and it's not completely red and it's not completely pink. It's just that in between, let's say if I would have mixed these two shades. This is, in my opinion, a little bit more easy to work with over the Giorgio Armani. Giorgio Armani, because of the texture, it will move a little bit more into your skin. I'm so sorry about the noise. The neighbor has decided to use the leaf blower, and obviously I can't say anything, but it's just that really annoying background noise. Anyway, so I'm hoping he's going to be done soon. So Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk in shade Dream Pop is a nice mix of these two. Very easy formula to apply. It's a bit foolproof. So if you're new or you're just in a hurry, you just need to apply something very easy, you can apply this directly onto your cheek, smudge it with a beauty blender or your brush, and you're kind of done with it. Whereas the Giorgio Armani, it's a little bit more of an elaborated makeup look, not so foolproof. If you're new to makeup, you might struggle with the application. And if you have an oily skin, go for the YSL one. If, however, you like your blush to be very minimal, just kind of a flush of color, you want something that will stay a little bit more dewy, will blend really nicely, and if you don't mind having, if you're wearing a dewy foundation and you want to have your blush that just kind of melt into it, go for Chanel Les Beige. This is the Water Fresh Blush. I have two shades that I really like. I've got shade Light Peach and Warm Pink. I'm going to show you Warm Pink. And you see how beautiful. This is a proper spring and summer blush. So it's kind of super liquid. And once you blend it, it's just little pearls of color in it. It's not going to dry completely, but it dries enough so it's not obviously going to stay liquid water. But once you blend it, you just have that really nice sheer of color. Now it's a bit hard to see because there's a lot for that little space. But I'm gonna blend it so you guys can see. It just gives you that really nice flush of color. This is beautiful. So if you like your blush to be just a little bit, it's almost like you're not wearing anything, but you're wearing something, and it's just going to stay very fresh looking, very, not sure I would say it's dewy, but just very fresh looking. And it's a great option to all of those liquid blushes, and it's foolproof. Honestly, You just go on, you apply it, and you can just tap it with your finger, and that's it, you're done. And you know, you can come all over on your nose and your cheek, and it's just going to give you that youthful and fresh looking face. This is a great liquid blush. So the Chanel has all dry, so it's not moving, but you see how it's just reflecting light. Whereas, so this one, that's the Giorgio Armani, super luminous. These ones are completely matte. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. There are a lot of other options. The Say Beauty, if you like dewy blush because you're wearing a serum-like foundation, if you like your foundation to be dewy and something very luminous, Say Beauty is extremely good. It is, however, very dewy. So it's an oil blush, and it's called dew blush because it will stay super dewy, and it will dry, but it stays dewy. So you have to be careful onto your application. If you don't set it with a powder, it will move. So you just got to be mindful of what you want. Otherwise, you've got the Hourglass blush. It's an oil base that turned into something completely dry. You really do need to shake it a lot, and you'll see on the application, not the easiest to work with. It's quite, in my opinion, the bottle is a little bit messy. So if there is any bubble, the product will just continue to come out. And that is the Hourglass blush. So it's close to the Luminous Silk from Giorgio Armani, but in my opinion, the Giorgio Armani, the luminosity to it is much nicer. This has a lot of water into it, so the color, it looks really dark, but once it dries completely, it kind of absorbs into your skin. You might end up having to add another coat. So this is the Hourglass, and so it's not completely dry, and there's a lot of little sparkle into it, so it's not a matte blush. So if you like to have your blush completely matte and just one color and no reflection to it, the Hourglass is not the right blush for you. If, however, you like to have that reflection to it, there's a bit of a glitter into it, then you'll love this one. This is shade Vision, I believe. If you like your application to be very easy, very minimalistic, the Makeup Forever palette is honestly one of the best that you can have right now. It's not liquid, it's cream blushes. On this side you have your highlighter, on this side you have your blushes. These are waterproof, so it doesn't matter what skin type you have. It could be dry, combination, or oily. This works for everyone. Super easy to apply. You can just go in with your fingers or your beauty blender. They are very sheer, so they seem to be very dark, but honestly, this is the darkest purple here. And once you work it onto your skin, it's really not as dark as it looks. So it's a really nice way of playing with shades. And as I mentioned, it is completely waterproof and it dries completely onto your skin. So if you have a super oily skin, this is something to consider. Equally, if you have a dry skin, it doesn't matter, because when you apply it, it's a cream product. It's going to just dry nicely onto your skin. For me, this is a super good purchase, a little bit pricey, but the amount of blush that you have in the palette, it is really, really worth it. And the highlighter are drying completely too. So I don't know many cream highlighter that dry completely. So this palette is beautiful. Equally, if you like cream blushes, you like your makeup to be very minimalistic, the WESTMAN Atelier blushes, the baby cheek blush, are literally the ones you should be considering. They are the easiest to apply. I've got two shades. I've got Puppet and Petal. Puppet is my favorite shade because it's that baby pink, proper pink. But once you apply it onto your skin, it looks quite pink, but the minute you just melt it onto your skin. It just gives that really nice flush of pink. I'm running out of space on my hand, but just here. You just kind of press it onto your skin. It melts with the heat of your skin. And look at this. Look how beautiful this is. It is literally the blush that you want if you just want to have that flush of color. Look like I'm just healthy, you know. This is beautiful, and equally the other shade, Puppet, is even more natural. I'll come here. So this shade here, look at this. Super luminous, dries completely. It feels like even a little bit powdery. It is gorgeous and super easy to apply. You just go with your finger over your foundation and that's it, you're done. You can apply it on your lips as well, on your eyes, it doesn't matter. Super, super easy product. Again, if you have a very super oily skin, chances are it might move a little bit, but you can add just a little bit of setting powder on top of it and you're going to be fine. Super, super great product. Now the last product that I want to show you are the newest blush from Chanel, the Cream to Powder Blush. This is shade Rouge Franc. So it looks like a cream blush, but once you apply it, it turns into a powder onto your skin. This is gorgeous. So on my cheek, I have this blush from Giorgio Armani that I have layered with this one, this one from Chanel, and it's shade Grenat Profond. It looks really dark, but once you have it onto your skin, it turns into a powder, and it's literally just that beautiful, super luminous powder blush. It just gives that really, really nice luminosity into your blush. And they are so easy to work with. There's 5 shades of them. I bought the 5 shades and I did a review on them. If you like to layer a cream blush, a liquid blush, and some powder blush, because this is a cream to powder, it really limits the risk of having your blush to be a little bit patchy. These, for me, the cream to blush product from Chanel are the perfect blush to layer on top of a cream or liquid blush. And it's because the product itself is the cream to powder. The minute you apply it onto your skin, it's kind of a cream product, so it really melts onto your skin and then turns into a powder. So you're not gonna have any patches, where if you apply a powder blush directly on top of a liquid or cream product, and if you haven't set it with a setting powder, most likely it will be patchy because you're going from cream to powder directly without having that layer in between just to seal it. So these are such good product, and all the 5 shades are beautiful. If you like just that very flush, just a very gentle flush of color, obviously you can go for that beige kind of shade. Otherwise, these two that are a little bit more punchy are beautiful. So before I wrap up things, let me show you again. So it's been a while, so the product I've had time to set. So this is the Giorgio Armani, and you can see it's completely dry, but you have that luminosity. This is your YSL, completely matte, completely dry, and for me this is my least favorite. Obviously I don't have an oily skin. I just feel like this shade is a little bit flat. This is Charlotte Tilbury. If I have an oily skin, I would go for Charlotte Tilbury instead. This is Say Beauty. See how dewy it stays? It's literally like a serum-like product. It's not going to set. So obviously you would apply a thinner layer, but it will stay very dewy onto your skin. So you gotta think about, the type of foundation, the type of makeup you're doing. If you like your blush to be completely dry, then I wouldn't recommend that you go for that Dew blush from Say Beauty. The Chanel one is just that really nice watery blush. It gets absorbed by your skin, but you just have that flush of color. You have the WESTMAN ATELIER, super luminous, but a very just soft pop of color. And this one is the Hourglass, and you have that reflection to it that stays a little bit dewy, but not as much as say Beauty. Nice blush, but in my opinion, not the best. I would say go for the Luminous Silk from Giorgio Armani, or even Charlotte Tilbury, if you like that kind of look. And of course, if you need something waterproof that will never move, go for Makeup Forever. I think this is a great addition, especially if you're a makeup artist. This is super easy. You just put it in your makeup kit and you kind of have everything you need. And these ones are just, they do have a special place in my heart because it's Chanel, and I really like pretty much every product from Chanel. That is it for me. And of course, now that I am finished with my filming, the neighbor has finished with his leaf blower chainsaw. I don't know what he's doing in the garden, but there's always one neighbor doing something. That's the thing when you live in the countryside. There's always someone doing something in the garden. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. If you have any questions or if you have any concern with your skin, you don't know which blush to go for, just pop your question in and I'm more than happy to come and have a look and answer you. It's what I do for a living, so feel free and don't be shy to ask any questions you might have. As usual, I will list the makeup I am wearing down below in the description. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot to me. And a big thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.